Hey everybody, what is up? Paragon has got some sweeping, huge, meta-changing changes coming up pretty soon here, and I'm not talking about just new heroes with new abilities, or new cards, or changes to the deck system. I'm talking almost a complete rework of the minute-to-minute gameplay. I'm talking about the travel mode that allows you to sprint after 8 seconds of, charging up. I'm talking about that being removed, at least in what they're saying right now. That's going away, and they're replacing that with the ability to teleport to any tower that you currently own on a 90-second cooldown. And that would change everything, but I wanted to give you guys an update on the development of this game, Paragon, because right now the state of the game is as such. It can feel slow at times, and it can also feel blazingly fast at times. This is due in large part to the travel mode that allows you to sprint around the map at high speeds. It allows you to gank other lanes or move from lane to lane really quickly. So when you combine the high-speed map traversal with a system that allows you to share experience among nearby teammates, and by experience I mean the card experience, that allows you to buy more cards as you level up and pick up the orbs on the ground from killing minions and players, when you combine that with the high-speed traversal, what it does is it opens up this very, very strong strategic opportunity to travel around with your team as a 5-man group from lane to lane, push down that lane, and then move on to the next one, and so on and so forth. And it's very hard to stop. And on top of that, the whole group will just roll through the jungle, collect all the buffs together because, hey, it shares experience. And it devalues the, according to them at least, long-term strategic potential of the game in its MOBA state. And that's something that I actually agree with, because this strategy is far too prevalent and far too effective for my own personal liking, because that's really all I see nowadays when I'm playing Paragon. It's just everybody group up, they all push one tower, move to the next lane. Ganking is really, really easy, really fast, everybody gets tons of experience, and it just kind of snowballs from there because of being able to work in a group. It does have its upsides though, because I like how sharing the experience between all of your nearby teammates makes it so that last hitting isn't as important. And last hitting in this game can be pretty damn difficult when you're early to mid game, because you are not doing a lot of damage, and most of the time the minions fighting other minions are doing more damage than you are, so you have to wait for just that split second right before they're about to die and then last hit them, and that can be tough. So by being able to share 100% of the card experience with everyone around you, regardless of who gets the last hit, makes it a lot easier to get the farm that you need, and to maybe even be the support character of your team. Because if you're supporting, you're not going to really be doing a lot of last hits, especially in lane, and especially anywhere else. You're going to be, trying to support your team. But then there are even more downsides to having such a death ball concept being so prevalent. And I'm talking about the laning phase being heavily devalued by the ability to just roam around in a ball of death across the map at high speeds. This makes laning during the early part and mid part of the game almost irrelevant. Sticking with your team and overcoming minions and jungle quickly with your teammates as well as other players will net you the most amount of experience compared to just solo laning in a singular lane trying to farm and push towers. And that's not right for a MOBA. So what exactly is being done to curb this deathball mechanic? Well, they are changing how the card point sharing actually works within 1 week's time of me posting this video. And the way it would work before is that previously, no matter how many of your teammates were around you, if you picked up orbs or if they picked up orbs, everybody would get 100% of the experience. But now, the last hitter is always, the more of your teammates that are nearby, the less that those teammates are going to get in experience. Now, the last hitter is always going to get 100%. When there's 2 people only, both of those people will also get 100%. But if there's 3 people, then the last hitter will get 100, and the 2 people who aren't last hitting get 50% each. And that increases as the number of teammates increases. So when you have 3 teammates in the last hitter, those 3 teammates will get 33%. When you have 4 teammates in the last hitter, 25%. So as you can see, by having the whole team bunched together, killing people, pushing towers and minions, they're going to get a lot less experience than the other team who's pushing towers 2 people at a time. And while I wish there was a way to get rid of death balls without having to resort to making it so anyone who isn't last hitting doesn't get all of the experience when there's more than 2 people there, I do appreciate that death ball will be gone, and the objective of maximizing resource gain will be more important than running around the map with your team deathmatch style. And another big change that Epic Games is making to this game is the complete removal of travel mode. Now, they did say that they will be paying attention to player feedback and making sure that they don't upset the entirety of the community by removing such a huge staple feature, but removing the ability to sprint around the map and replace it with a 90-second teleport to whatever towers you may have, I don't know, man. That completely changes everything. I can see the upsides and I can see the downsides. It allows you to instantly be where you need to be in order to defend or attack or what have you, but at the same time, once your towers are gone, you'll just have to run back to lane. Super slow mode version. And you run pretty slow in this game without travel mode. I mean, look at the difference here in the gameplay. Once I hit travel mode, bam, I'm going, It makes getting through jungle, it makes ganking quick, fun, and full of action, and it really sets this game apart from really every other MOBA that I've seen out there. And then just removing that feature that makes Paragon what it is, I don't know, I don't particularly agree with it, even though I can see and understand the upsides of it. I'd rather have, what makes this game feel special and unique over what we're getting out of it. On the downside, we lose originality. We lose that feeling of, what made Paragon Paragon. But on the upside, champions with movement abilities will be much more useful and sought after, because when you're running away and trying to escape, you won't have travel mode to use as a crutch. Hell, this change alone will completely demolish the ability to be a death ball, because your team won't be moving fast enough to be effective as a 5-man group running around the large-ass map that Agora is. But that's enough for now. This is part 1 of 2 parts in discussing the huge sweeping changes that are coming to Paragon. This time we talked about the 2 big things: removal of travel mode and the tweaking to experience sharing and all of that. Next time we're going to be talking about some more intricate things, the huge changes to minions, like the huge changes to the inhibitors and how they're going to work, like the huge change to the purple power orb and how that's going to affect your team and what you can do with it and how you'll be able to buy items. All really interesting stuff. Stay tuned, guys. Subscribe and like for more. Thanks for watching.